Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can create this paying system where you can buy these cars, for example, and then you have this HUD where the amount of money are listed and your owned cars are listed, and it saves the world position of the cars so you are able to teleport to your owned cars. Great, so let's go. So the first thing is we need two more inputs. So let's go to the project settings, input, and I already created an interact and a menu input action. So we need this later. So let's go back to our car here. So it's a basic car, nothing special. The only thing that I added is an enter car and a leave car function. If you want to know how you do this, I make a tutorial about that, link is in the description. The only important thing is that it is a wheeled vehicle, and we will use this as a parent class for all cars that we will create. So we put all the functionality inside here, and then we just create a child actor for all other cars. So the first thing is we will create some variables that we will use later. So the first thing, of course, is the price itself. This will be an integer. The second thing is the name. This will be a text. Then we need a thumbnail in this case. The thumbnail will be a 2D texture. So like this one, texture 2D, object reference. Next one will be owned. Owned will be a boolean in this case. The other two variables that I created are the position. It is a vector to check the world position later for the car. And the driver, this is a third person character object reference. We will use this for the enter car and leave car function. So let's go to our character here. It's just the basic third person character. I just added the interact interface and the state machine. If you want to know how you create this, it's already a tutorial. I put a link in the description. We will use this to interact with the car and do the animation for the character. It's nothing important. So let's go for the game instance. We need this to store our cars and our money over the whole game. So we go right click, group and class, and then we search for the instance and take this game instance here and just call this my instance. Open this up, and we need two variables right here. Of course, our money. The money will be an integer in this case. And the second one will be our cars. And the cars will be, in my case, the car, so the basic parent class that we will create as an object reference, and we make this an array. Compile and save this. So we can close this now, and we will open our project settings, go to maps and modes, and put under game instance class our my instance. So our created instance right here. The next thing we want to create is the price sign. So let's go back to our car here, and the sign will be just a text render like this one here. So let's make this like this one, and we just call this price underscore text. Compile and save this. And the second one is a box collision. This will be, put it to the mesh. This will be the driver box. So this is for the collision that we can interact with the car later. So we have no car here because this is our parent class. We will do this on the child class later. So the first thing is we go to our event graph here, and we want to show up the price sign when we are near the car. So let's go to the details of the driver box, so our collision box here, and we say begin overlap and as well end overlap. In both cases, we will cast to our third person character like that. In this case, we take out our price text and just want to set the visibility to false. Of course, be sure that you go on the details for the price text and hit the visibility to false. up here, we need a branch to check if we already owned the car. Then we take our price here, get it. Then we take out our price text here. From the price text, we go say set text. On the false case, of course, because we didn't own the car already, then we connect this to the value. It will automatically convert into a text right here. And then we just again set the visibility of the price text, in this case, of course, to true. So now it's just switch around. So when we near the car, it will show up the price of the car. If we go away, it will disappear. So we can test this. If we go to the car, and then we just say right click, create child blueprint class. Let's call this pickup. Then we just open this up. And then we just have to fill these options here. So let's say the price is 8,000. The name is of course pickup. Then we need a thumbnail. I already created one. This one here. And then we go to the mesh, choose the skeleton mesh. So our pickup. We need the animation for the pickup. And then we have to set up on the vehicle movement the wheels. So it's very important that we choose the right one. So I skipped this process. So I set it up to the wheel class and the bone name. Then we just have to set the price text, of course. So move it up here in this case. You can make it visible for the moment to place it right above here like this. Then you can make it invisible. It's very important. And then you just place the driver box at the right position, right in front of the driver door. Great. So then we just go to our child class here, pull it out. And when we hit play, we go to the pickup and it shows the price. And when we go away, it disappears. So the next part is we want to buy this car. So we go to the parent class, very important. And we need the function that called just buy. So the first thing is we get the game instance. From the game instance, we cast to our my instance that we created. From here, we say get money. Money is minus, of course, the price. Then again, from my instance, we want to set the money. And this is, of course, the money minus the price. Then again, we say get cars. Want to add the car to our cars. So we just have to do a reference to self. Put it right here. From self, we say get world location of the driver box, in this case, like that. Then we take out our price text here and want to set the visibility to false in this case, because we buy the car, we didn't need to know the price anymore. And the last part is we want to set the position. So get the position here, set it to the world location of the driver box. We need this later for the world position of the car. So that's the whole buy car function. So what we need is we go to the event graph again. We need our interact event, so event interact. And I put in the character as an input value. So when you go to our interact interface, we have this function here and we have the character as an input. This is just the third person character object reference. Great. So this function is very easy. We just need a branch to ask if we already own the car. Of course, if we own the car, we just enter the car. If not, we want to buy the car. So now we need an HUD to display this. So we go here and say right click, use interface, widget. And we just call this menu. Open this up. Of course, we have this canvas here, and the first thing I want to add up is a blur effect. Like that. So put this over all the size here, so the basic size. And then I want to add a blur range about 10. So like that. The second thing is I want to add a text. The text will be right here. So I add this to the canvas, it's very important. And this will be the money that we have. So we check the is variable right here and put it in the right corner, for example, like this one. I want to add another text, put this also to the canvas and put this into the middle right here, like that. And I just want to display the text cars. Put this in the middle, like this one, make it a little bit bigger. Great. The next thing I want to add is some border. Put this right here. We put this also to the canvas and make this bigger like that. Inside the border, we want a grid panel right here. And let's make the border a little bit more gray like this. Okay. So the grid, we just call grid and check the is variable here. Great, so now we need a second widget. So let's go back, create another one. And let's call this car. Open this up. We can remove the canvas because we just need a size box here, like that. Put this to desired and override the width and height. Let's put this to 400 and 200. Something like that. Or maybe 250, like that. So inside here we need a button. The button will be draw as an image, very important. Also for the hovered one as an image. A little bit padding, about 10. And we just call this thumbnail. It is already variable, that's good. And the second thing is we need again a text. Put this right here and put this down here, maybe a little bit like that. And this will be the car name. And we'll also make this a variable. Great. So let's go back to our menu, go to the graph, and we had our grid and our money text here. So let's create a new function that's called render cars. So the first thing that we need is we get our game instance. From this we cars to my instance that we created. Then of course we want to get our cars. Then we get the grid here. And the first thing I want to do is clear the children so that we can be sure that it's empty. From this we say for each loop, like that. And now we want to set a few things. So the first thing is we go from here, say create widget, and we select our car widget that we created. And now we get the thumbnail. Of course, we get the car name. And the good part is we go from the array element and get the thumbnail as well. Of course, as well, we get the name like that. From the thumbnail, we say get style, and then we do right click, split structure pin. And now we are able to set the normal, the hovered, pressed, whatever you want. And then we go just for the normal and say set brush resource from texture. We can copy and paste this because we want to do this as well for the hovered one. And then we just connect the thumbnail from the array element with the texture up here. Of course, connect it. And then we go from the name. So we want from the car name, set the text like that. And then we just connect the name with the text. Great. So actually what I want to do is we go back to our car widget here, go to the graph, can delete everything here, and I want to create a new variable that's called position, and we do this as an vector, compile and save this, and now we go back to the menu, uncheck this one, go from the return value and say set position. Connect it right here, like that. And now we go again from the array element, say get position. And then we just connect the position with this one. So what it does is we gave the information of every car to the widget where the car is located. We need this later to teleport to the car that we selected. The last thing is we have to add up this to the grid itself. So we go from the grid here and say add child to grid. And now we need a branch like that. So we have a true case and a false case. So copy and paste this down here. Of course, we connect the grid as well down here like this. And the return value is of course the content from the create car widget. And now we have to set the row and the column. So that's pretty similar. If you watch the inventory tutorial, it's the same concept. We go from the array index and say index defeated by another index. Put this in this case to 6. So that means we have 6 columns in a row. Then we take our array index again, connect this with the column. The output goes into the row. Then we say this one is equal to another integer, leave this to 0, and this is our condition. This one goes into the row itself. And then we just say integer multiplied by another integer. This is as well 6. Then we go integer minus integer. Put this into the column. This goes to here. And the array index goes to here. So we are done here. So we go back to our car widget. And we need the click event from the thumbnail, of course. Like this. Then we say get player character. We cast to our third person character. And then we want to set actor location. So this will be our teleport function. That in this case, of course, we want to check the teleport boolean down here. And now we just take out our position here. And the third person character is the target. So that's the whole teleport function. It's done here. So let's open up our third person character here because we need the menu input action. This one here because we want to open the menu. For this we need then menu open boolean, of course, get it right here. Then we need a branch to ask, like that. In the false case, so that means this is not open, we cast to my instance, get the game instance, like that. Then we want to create an widget, of course our menu. We go from the instance, get the money. Then we want to append a string. Just connect the money with the A case here. And then we add up a $sign, just to make it look more realistic. Then we get the money from the menu widget. And then we just want to set the text like this. And then we just connect the append with the string. Then we go from the return value, want to render the cars, so the function that we created, like that. And then we just say from the return value again, add to viewport. We take out our get player controller. Then we say set show mouse cursor. Put this to true. Actually, before we say set input mode game and UI. Uncheck the hide cursor during capture. And we connect it with the show mouse cursor. And the last part is we take out our menu open, set it to, of course, true. So we are done here. So now we have the true case. So the menu is already open. In this case, we want to remove all widgets. Then again, we say get player controller. And then we just want to set the input mode to game only. Set show mouse cursor to false again. And set the menu open boolean to false. So let's see if this works. So I add up a few more cars here. So let's go back to my instance and I add up some money here that we have at the start point. And when we now hit play, we go to a car. When we press E, we buy it. We go to this car, press E and buy it. When we press I, our menu is open. We have less money, of course, because we buy these cars. And when we click on it, we get teleported to the car. So when I press the Firebird, I'm near to the Firebird. Great. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, goodbye.